Welcome back to Coin Explorer. Today, we're diving into the story of a coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but carries one of the most fascinating secrets in American numismatic history. Yes, I'm talking about the 1965 United States quarter dollar. It's a coin millions of Americans have handled, yet very few realize that under rare and remarkable circumstances, it could be valued by collectors at up to $9,999,999. Now don't get me wrong, not every 1965 quarter is worth a fortune. But when a rare minting error or silver composition comes into play, things change dramatically. Because this coin doesn't just represent money, it represents history, innovation, and transformation at one of the most critical moments in U.S. coinage. So buckle up, coin explorers, because the story of the 1965 quarter will completely change the way you look at your loose change. Let's rewind to 1965, a year of transformation in the United States. The world was changing, the economy was shifting, silver prices were soaring, and the U.S. Mint faced a crisis. For generations, American quarters had been made of 90% silver and 10% copper, solid, valuable, and shining with prestige. But as the price of silver climbed, people began hoarding their coins, and the nation faced an unprecedented shortage. To fix this, the government made a bold move. In 1965, the Mint completely removed silver from the quarter's composition and introduced a new copper-nickel-clad coin with a pure copper core layered between two sheets of nickel. That's the version most of us know today. But during this chaotic transition, a few surprises slipped through the cracks. On the obverse side, we see George Washington's familiar profile, created by John Flanagan, along with the inscriptions, "Liberty and in God we trust." The year 1965 sits proudly below his neck. Flip it over, and you'll find the mighty bald eagle, wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows and an olive branch, a perfect balance of strength and peace. Above it reads, United States of America, and beneath, quarter dollar. But beneath that classic design lies one of the greatest mysteries of modern coinage. You see, some 1965 quarters, by pure accident, were struck on silver planchets left over from 1964, before the composition change was fully complete. Those few coins that slipped through, they've become legends among collectors. You're sorting through a box of old change and pick up a 1965 quarter that feels just a bit heavier, shinier, more vibrant than the rest. You flip it in your hand. It rings with that unmistakable silver chime. Your heart skips a beat. Could it be one of the lost silver quarters of 1965? That's the dream that drives collectors all over the world. The possibility that an ordinary coin could hold an extraordinary secret. And yes, a few verified silver planchet 1965 quarters have surfaced over the decades, shocking even the most experienced numismatists. During the Mint's transition in 1965, the production lines were chaotic. Old silver blanks from 1964 and new copper-nickel blanks for 1965 were both in use. In the confusion, a few leftover silver planchets accidentally got fed into the presses for the new 1965 dated quarters. Those rare errors were never meant to exist, yet a few escaped into circulation. And those are the coins that can command unbelievable prices at auction, sometimes reaching into the millions of dollars depending on their condition, purity, and grading. Collectors value them not only for their rarity, but for what they represent. A moment frozen in time when America's money literally changed its metal and meaning. The regular 1965 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and is made of copper-nickel over a pure copper core. Its color is a silver-gray tone with a slight copper stripe visible along the coin's edge, a dead giveaway of its clad composition. The rare silver planchet version, however, weighs about 6.25 grams and lacks that copper line on the edge. If you tap it gently, it produces a bright, ringing tone, a sound that silver coins are famous for. These are the subtle differences that experienced collectors use to identify potential treasure coins. But the only way to be absolutely certain is through professional certification. Grading services like PCGS or NGC, which can verify a coin's authenticity beyond doubt. Now, let's address the question everyone wants to know. Why could such a small coin ever reach values close to $9,999,999? Well, it's not just about metal content. It's about rarity and history. In the numismatic world, rarity drives everything. When you combine rarity with a historical turning point, like the end of silver coinage, and exceptional condition, the value becomes almost limitless. These coins are more than currency. They're artifacts of a nation's evolution. Owning one isn't just holding money, it's holding a story of how America adapted, innovated, and moved forward in the face of change. That emotional power, combined with scarcity, is what makes collectors willing to pay staggering amounts. Now, think about this. In 1965, people didn't realize they were living through history. They used their coins without a second thought. Today, those same coins are symbols of a country in transition, from silver to base metals, from the past to the modern era. That's what makes the 1965 quarter so compelling. It's a coin born at the crossroads of tradition and progress. Here's a tip for those who want to start searching. If you have old jars or rolls of quarters lying around, take a moment to look at your 1965 coins carefully. Check their edges. Do you see a copper line? If not, you might want to weigh it. If it's heavier than normal, that's your first clue. Always handle them carefully, no cleaning, no polishing, and get them checked by a professional grader if they seem unusual. Even if it turns out to be a standard-clad coin, you've still learned a lot. And who knows? That curiosity might lead you to the next big discovery. What makes the 1965 quarter so emotionally powerful is that it represents change itself. It's a small reminder that progress always comes with transition. Something old must give way for something new. It's a reflection of an era when America's economy was evolving, its technology was advancing, and even its coins were adapting to a modern world. Every scratch, every shine on that quarter tells part of that story. And for collectors, it's not just about value, it's about connection. Connection to a time, a story, and a moment that still echoes today. So, could your 1965 quarter really be worth millions? Maybe, if it's one of those rare silver-struck survivors in pristine condition. But even if it's not, it still carries something priceless, a piece of American history right in your hands. That's what makes this coin special. It reminds us that history isn't locked away in museums. Sometimes it jingles quietly in your pocket. Thanks for joining me today on Coin Explorer, where we uncover the hidden stories behind the world's most fascinating coins. If you enjoyed this journey into the mystery of the 1965 quarter, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible discoveries. And remember, always check your change. Because one day, that small coin you've overlooked could turn out to be a treasure worth far more than money. Keep exploring, keep learning, and who knows, maybe the next coin you find will change everything.